Pisces, it's October 2015. I'm so glad you've joined me. I've got a little bit to talk about today, and it's interesting because there's been a major transit of Saturn. Not exactly your friendly planet, but it has just now moved into your career sector for the first time in 30 years, the sign of Sagittarius. Now, we were talking in my introduction about self-empowerment. I hope you've looked at that, because part of this self-empowerment process I'm talking about, and I want to focus on this over the next couple of months as a theme, has to do with dealing with and learning how to use the difficult aspects. Saturn moving into your career sector just now, and it will remain there for the next 2.5 years, which is why I'm harping a little bit on it at the outset of the reading, needs to be accepted as the planet that's going to challenge you, constrict you, dominate you, and make you feel at times a little unfulfilled. But using those energies, you see, Saturn is a tempter. Saturn will tempt you to do things that you don't want to do. But if you're able to resist that and work with discipline along the lines that you know you've chosen, then that same planet that will disrupt and constrict you can in fact produce some extremely great results. Huge responsibilities coming for you right now, and it's not an easy month. Just jumping back to the month of October 2015, which is what we're talking about, the Sun and retrograde Mercury at the North Node in the 8th house of shared resources is not easy. The Sun is diminished in this position, but on the 23rd it moves out of there and brings some light relief. A little bit earlier than that, we see the retrograde Mercury moving into its forward direction as well on the 9th, or is that the 10th? The 10th, sorry. And that has to do with your personal relationships more than anything. So if there's been a bit of a backward motion and a need to revise the way you deal with each other, there's good news there for you. So the 13th and the 23rd, both very, very good dates. And you'll see, I think, that Mercury takes a little bit of time to move back into its forward motion so that your communication is back in line with what you'd expect it to be. You've got big plans for your relationships this month, Pisces. That's because you're one of your ruling planets, Jupiter, and your other very, very favourable planet, Mars, your karmic planet, both of them conjoining in the 7th house of marriage and relationships. Sometimes this can be a little bit abrasive because one or other of the parties want to do things bigger and better and quicker. But fortunately, you have a conjunction there later in the month. Well, around the 9th, Venus moves into this position to soften the blow. And then a perfect opportunity when Venus conjoins Jupiter on the 26th. So I think, although I'm saying there's some disagreement between you and your partner or even your business partner, Venus is going to very much soften the impact of the circumstances that you find yourself in. There's a couple of important lunar activities there. The first is the new moon that takes place in that 8th house. A whole new view of your finances, the way you bank. There could be a change in your bank account, the way you manage your taxation, even the accountant that you hire may be changed. And that's because the 6th Lord, the Sun, transiting in this 8th place, regulates those people that serve you. And we see a huge energy here associated with money, shared resources and finances. You may actually decide that your accountant hasn't been doing the right work for you. You may opt to get better advice or at least a second opinion on how to manage your finances. That's where you could run into some troubles with your partner if you're married, your spouse or partner or long-term live-in partner. They may have very, very different ideas. So that is where your communication has to get back on track as well, where there's consensus as to how to deal with all of those sorts of things. So that new moon, which takes place there in that 8th house, is an indicator that you're about to change things up and a new chapter is beginning in this area of your life over those particular subjects. The full moon on the 27th takes place in the sign of Taurus, which is your 3rd house. That's lovely. That stabilizes your thinking, your communication, and gives you the opportunity to also maybe seek out some new forms of study and also some new environments, because the 3rd house is short journeys. So there could be some places you travel to give you a better feeling about yourself, to just relieve you from the day-to-day stresses, and that I thoroughly recommend and say will help you. There's a right angle of Mercury, your ruling planet, to Pluto. That takes place on the 23rd, so it's around the same time that the Sun moves out. You need to be careful of your communications at that time with your partner. They may try to push, fight you into a corner there, and if you're not careful, you may give in and then regret that. So stick to your guns, hold fast, stay firm. That full moon in the fixed sign of Taurus shows that you can do that, and you'll come out better for it. I hope this has helped. I'd like to share just a little bit of what's happening. That's for the month of October. Do join me at astrology.com.au, where we have a more detailed analysis of your sun sign and what's happening, a text-based aspect by aspect analysis, date by date, which is more chronological. And if you'd like, you can get more personal information through a personal reading with me. There are oracles there you can consult. A lot of it is free. If you want a personal reading, we charge a little bit for that, but that's optional. And until next month, I hope this helps you get through the next 31 days. Look forward to your company next month. Bye-bye.